Hi, my name is Suzan Smadi, and I welcome you to my channel. I'm going to be talking about a little bit about the comments that I received on my NDE and probably answering a few questions. So the comments that I received on my video, my last video on my near-death experience, actually had me somewhat shocked because I received great reviews and then I received condemning reviews. So it was interesting to me because I didn't really realize that I would get what I consider hate mail. That was humbling, but it's okay because it allowed me to experience the fear that people have in learning or opening up to what is out there other than this physical reality. And that's okay because we're all in different levels within our journey and it's all fantastic and it's all great. So I don't believe in deleting anything and everything is there for you to read if you'd like to. It's actually quite fascinating, it's very entertaining, and it's very enlightening. I don't believe in hell in the way that religion depicts hell. Hell to me is made up of your own doing, and so is heaven actually. You create your own heaven and you create your own hell. It is your choice. It is our choice. We are creating our reality. We are creating our futures every single step of the way. And I'm okay with that. And I hope that other people are okay with that or become okay with that because I don't believe in victimhood. I don't believe we are victims. That's very disempowering and that goes against everything I am for. I believe in empowering people, and I believe that knowledge is power, which is why I wanted to discover everything that I could, and I was attracted to the occult. The occult just means that the information, occult, is hidden. So it's knowledge that has been hidden. Why has it been hidden? Because it was not socially acceptable, perhaps, or because it was too powerful for some people to get their hands on because their purposes might not be so pure. So this information and this knowledge has been hidden from the public. Fortunately, in this time, hidden knowledge is very readily available to all of us. And I actually appreciate that very much because I love knowledge. I believe knowledge is light. Light is knowledge. So after having my NDE, it opened up my worldview. It opened up my perspective because when you have an NDE, your perspective opens and you are experiencing life in another way. Society wasn't very accepting of what I would have to say, so I kept my mouth shut for a long time. And it was very scary doing that video because it was my first time talking about it publicly, and I didn't know how other people would react to that, but I am okay. I am okay now, and nothing could hurt me. I mean, the only thing to know is that fear is an illusion. It is actually a delusion. It is a distortion of what is real. What is real is love. And God is real. God is love. God is light. And I am here, I believe, to share my knowledge and to share my experience because that is part of that whole that is of God. I am not against God. I am of God and I am a God-like creature. being of light. We all are. If you have a soul, you are like God because you have that peace of God. That peace of God is in everything around us. It is in the world. Everything has consciousness. The world itself, Gaia, Terra, Pangea, mountains, rivers, oceans, planets, sun, moon, everything, rocks, crystals, everything has energy. Energy is what God is all about. Nothing can be without God because God is within everything. God is everything. And to understand this concept, we can go for days to talk about this, but to truly understand what or who God is, you just have to experience it. There's no way to conceptualize what God or who God is unless you experience it. We can write about it, we can write poetry about it, we can write songs about it, and we can create about it because it is an expression of it. I am that I am. That's what it is, right? I am that. I am. I am all. If you're interested in looking up more of that concept, look up pantheism or panentheism, because that is the concept that believes or that says that God is in all or God is all. That resonates with me. So I wanted to read one of the questions that I got in that video. Thank you so much, Steve, for posting your question. So he wants to know, do you engage in any spiritual practices, meditation, prayer of any sort? What books have you read that resonate with you in this area, etc.? How does your experience affect your daily routine and your life choices? Could I be any more intrusive? Sorry. I've always felt like a stranger in my own body. Well, you know, me too. To tell you the truth, I have too. But it's all good because we are here to experience that, to express that in any way we so choose. That is the beauty of free will, right? If we have free will, then why wouldn't we express ourselves however we would want? Whatever makes you happy, I say that is the way to go. As long as whatever makes you happy is not hurting anyone else, because we are here learning from ourselves and each other and our environment. Nothing is secluded. Nothing is separate. And when I had my NDE, I understood that we are all one. It is all about oneness. We are part of God. God is part of us. It is not separate. We are not separate from God. We are that which is. Expressions of that which is God. So, yeah, my experience definitely shifted me, I believe, and I wanted to understand it. And the fact that I couldn't speak about it and the fact that I wasn't able to express what I had experienced in an open and authentic way, in a genuine way, I had to just do a lot of inner work. And that is one of the ways that I connected with my guidance, which is source energy. My guidance is oneness. I can label my guidance and I can give names to my guidance. That's on me if I choose to do that. But I don't choose to do that at this point. It is just oneness. It is source. It is God. So I believe that the reason I was so interested in consciousness and so interested in therapy and how the mind works is because I really wanted to understand what I had experienced as a child and what I had experienced all throughout my lifetime. All these different experiences of deja vu and understanding what people were thinking before they even said it. I didn't understand how that was possible because other people weren't having the same experience I was. And I didn't understand that until I was older, until I was more into my teenage years. So that was very interesting, the how that played out. And in my 20s, I really wanted to have that normal lifestyle of working and having a life that didn't really involve spirituality in the way that I was so accustomed to all throughout life. And so I sort of went to sleep for a while in my 20s. Obviously, I'm not in my 20s anymore. I'm giving it away. But it was interesting because even though I was sleeping in my 20s and I bought into what society wanted me to buy into, and I was experiencing life from more of a anesthetic space of consciousness. It's beautiful because when I became reawakened through different ways, meditation being one of them, when you meditate, you're actually listening and you're receiving information. I believe that there's not one way to meditate. There's many ways of meditation. Washing your dishes could be very meditative as long as you are present in the moment and aware of what you're doing. That is what meditation is all about. It is about being aware, being conscious of what is happening in the present moment. There's some guided meditations that's helpful too. It's all fun, actually. It's all a way of expression. If you look in my background, I have oracle cards and things like that, and I also have a lot of books. I love books. I love reading, and I love knowledge. That's what I'm standing here for. I am transmitting the knowledge that I have accumulated through my NDE experience and through my other experiences throughout life. I am here sharing my experience. I am here sharing my knowledge. So in hopes of you being helped by it. I just want to help. That is all I want. I want to be able to transmit different lights within consciousness. That's all. I am not here to hurt anyone. I am here as a person who's existing, learning, and experiencing, and teaching. That's all. Very simple. And that's the mission, right? That is the grand mission. If you wanted to know what the grand mission is to spread light and to work with light as a light worker and a light warrior, because I will always protect the light, which is the knowledge base. I am here to protect knowledge and to bring in esoteric knowledge to the public. The books that I've loved, pretty much anything by Rudolf Steiner. Amazing. This is a very old book that I have, The Psychic Side of Dreams by Hans Holzer. He is pretty amazing. I've had this book for probably over 2 decades. I was quite young when I got this book. It resonated with me. I wanted to understand my dreams. I wanted to understand how come I was having dreams that were coming true, premonitions, precognition. I wanted to understand all of it because I didn't have a person that could explain it to me. So I found my information through looking for it through books. And I would feel the energy of the book because everything is energy anyway. I would feel the energy of the book by closing my eyes and tuning into its frequency. And then I would know if it would be helpful or not. And I would pick it up and I would read it, and I would be astonished at the fact that it was very helpful. So this was a very helpful book for me growing up. It's one of my older books, and it was actually a very cheap book, which is all great. I love knowledge that's free. The other books, I actually wrote them down. Old Souls, Compelling Evidence from Children Who Remember Past Lives by Tom Schroeder. That was an amazing book. I read that probably a decade ago. It has a picture of a young child, a young boy, blonde boy, on the cover. And it's pretty much like different case studies. And I come from the background of psychology, so I like case studies. That's what I resonate with as evidence. The other books are Journey of Souls, and he wrote another one afterwards, Destiny of Souls by Michael Newton. He is a psychologist who didn't believe in any of this stuff, but ended up writing about it because he had experiences with his clients, with his patients. I don't like calling people patients, but clients is a better word, I believe. And I think collectively we are liking the name of clients better, the label clients, not so much patients. Destiny of Souls was the second book that he wrote in that series, and they're very good books. A lot of great information, a lot of great knowledge came from those books, from his case studies, from his clients, in hypnosis. Another thing I wanted to say about my own experience, wanting to understand what it was that was happening with me and my consciousness and the reawakening that I was going through, that was more recent. I went to a QHHT session, which is quantum healing hypnosis technique. And that technique was coined or created by Dolores Cannon. I haven't personally read any of Dolores Cannon's books, but she has many books out there and people rave about them. People love her books. So perhaps that's something to look into. She was a hypnotist and her clients gave her all this information, and that's how she created her books. That's how the information for her books came about. It was through the QHHT sessions. So in one of my QHHT sessions, I asked, my facilitator asked my higher self about my NDE. And my higher self said that the NDE itself was needed for me physically. And the way I understand that was, or is, so the body produces hormones, right, in the brain. In the brain, in the pineal gland, there is DMT. If you wanted to look into that, I suggest you go Google DMT and what that is and what it's about. Ayahuasca is something that is taken and ingested. It is plant-based, and it provides you with that experience of DMT. Also, from what I've discovered is that when you are near death or when you pass away, the DMT is released within your brain. So as I understand it, my DMT was released in my brain when I was 5, when I had that experience, the near-death experience, and that activated me and sort of attuned me to different gifts that we all have, because I'm not any more special than you. We all have the same gifts. We all have the same senses: eyesight, hearing, touch, taste, smell. These are all senses that we are using to perceive our reality. Then you have the higher senses, which are thought and feeling. Think about that one for a while. You are not your thoughts and you're not your feelings. It is just another sense. It's a higher sense. We can talk about that later too. The other book that I recommend is Many Lives, Many Masters by Brian Weiss. Brian Weiss is amazing. I actually went to see him give a workshop, and his energy is so calming and so genuine and so beautiful, loving, healing. Like, he truly is a healer, and he is exactly where he needs to be. And I am very grateful for meeting him. I'm very grateful for being in the same room as him, because I learned so much from him. This is another book of his, Same Soul, Many Bodies. Discover the Healing Power of Future Lives Through Progression Therapy. Amazing book. So this is more about going forward in time instead of backward in time. So there's regression, there's progression. We can play with both, and they're very helpful tools for healing. The last book that I wanted to share, which it's interesting because I didn't expect to like this book as much as I did, Shamanic Experience, A Practical Guide to Psychic Powers. The reason I got this book was because there's a CD that accompanies this book, a drumming CD. And if you know about shamanic journeying, that's what that's about. But this Kenneth Meadows, the author of this book, is amazing. And I learned so much from this book. He provided a lot of exercises, which I use when I teach others how to do this work. Fantastic book, enlightening, and I was actually surprised with this one because I didn't think I would get as much as I did. So, really good book. So hopefully you would enjoy that. And I think I answered all of your questions, Steve. Thank you so much for them. I think I answered all of them as best as I could. And I thank you so much for them, truly. The only other thing that I could say is that my meditation practice is pretty much daily. Like I said, meditation doesn't have to look like this, or although it can. Meditation can be walking outside next to some trees and plants, anywhere really. Meditation can be even through the reading of books, believe it or not, because meditation is just a state of consciousness, being present in the moment. This could be very meditative. What I'm doing right now, being here, speaking to you, is very meditative because I am here in the moment. And that allows me to be present. I hope that you enjoy this video. And if you have any more questions or comments, I welcome all. Thank you so much for being part of my journey. And all my love to you.